Hey, we're going to do a quick quiz review and we're going to use page 165 in your textbook. So either go online or open up your book if you have one at home and go to page 165. I'm going to do 4 problems for you, which are very similar to the problems on your quiz. The first one I want to start with is number 2. The directions for number 2 say graph the linear equation, but because I can't see your graphs, there's no way for you to input a graph for me. What you're going to do is you are going to list 2 points on that graph. So we're going to do it the same way you would as if you were graphing. You'd make an X and a Y chart, and you'd pick 2 values for X. Remember, when you have a fraction for your slope, you're going to pick an X value that is a multiple of the denominator. Or you can pick 0, whatever you want to do. I'm actually going to pick 3 and 6 for my X values. Now if I put 3 in for X, I get 3 over 3, which is 1 minus 4. So Y would be equal to negative 3. If I put 6 in for X, I'd get 6 divided by 3, which is 2 minus 4. So Y would be equal to negative 2. The directions on the quiz say to enter 2 points. So what you would type in is negative 3, and 6, negative 2. And that would tell me 2 points on the line represented by Y equals X over 3 minus 4. The next one I want to do is number 5. On number 5, the directions say find the slope of the line. And you have the formula for slope of a line. Slope of a line is represented by M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you're going to take that line and plug in your points. It doesn't matter which point you call point 2 or point 1. I'm going to say that y2 is 6, and then that makes y1 4. And so then x2 would be negative 2, and x1 would be 2. When I simplify this, I get 2 over negative 4. Make sure you simplify your fractions. I don't want to leave this as negative 2 over 4. I want to simplify it to negative 1/2. So the slope of that line is negative 1/2. Next one is number 12. The number Y of hours of cello lessons that you take after X weeks is represented by the equation Y equals 3X. Graph the equation and interpret the slope. We are not going to graph the equation. Again, you're just going to give me 2 points that would be on this line. So X, Y. Again, just pick whatever you want for X. Don't pick 0, because remember, X is equal to the number of weeks. So we're not going to say 0 weeks, because we know at 0 weeks we'd have 0 lessons. Let's pick 1 week and 2 weeks. Keep it simple. After 1 week, 1 times 3 is 3. And if I put 2 in for X, I get 2 times 3, which is 6. So again, what you're going to list would be 2 points on this line. So you would list 1, 3 and 2, 6. The directions are clear on the Google form. The second part of that question asks you to interpret the slope. Well, the slope of this line, y equals 3x, is 3. Remember, this is in the form of y equals mx. So what does that slope mean? It means that each week, which is x, you take 3 cello lessons for a total of y. So y is the total number of lessons that you take. The slope means you take 3 per week, and x is the number of weeks. So on your answer, you would type in, when you interpret the slope, it means you take 3 cello lessons per week. All right, last question. I want to go through 13. It's about a dinner party. The cost y in dollars to provide food for guests at a dinner party is proportional to the number x of guests attending the party, and it costs $30 to provide food for 4 guests. Part A says write an equation that represents the situation. Well, let's figure out what's what. First, we know that it's directly proportional, so our equation is going to look like this. Y equals mx. Second thing, y equals the cost in dollars, and x equals the guests. And what do they tell you? They tell you it costs $30. We'll put that in for y. To provide food for 4 guests. 4 is for x, and m is what we don't know. So our first step is going to be to solve for m, and we do that by dividing each side by 4. $30 divided by 4 is 7.5. Or in our case, because we're talking about dollars, it would be $7.50. Part B says interpret the slope. What does that $7.50 mean? Well, if we go back up to our equation and we put $7.50 in for m, sorry, that's kind of messy. It means that the total cost y, yikes, is equal to $7.50 per guest. That's what the slope is telling us. So part C says, how much does it cost to provide food for 10 guests? Well, we know that x is the number of guests, so we're going to use 10 for x. Y equals $7.50 times 10. So the total cost for 10 guests will be equal to $75. Good luck on your quiz.